find our seat, remember it's a bit more of an active seat. So you've got your alignment of ankles under knees, your knees in line with your hips, and then your hips straight under your shoulders. And then see if you can reach up through the top of the head just a bit higher. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. And if it's helpful to close eyes, just here to begin, you could do that. And we're going to just begin to tune in. So use your breath, that tool that helps you become aware of what's going on within yourself. So take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And find a bit of softness around your eyes and jaw. And then you're going to find that steady rhythm of breath that has the right balance for you of effort and ease. Effort to keep you present and engaged. Ease to make it sustainable. And then if you haven't already, begin to find a bit more action through your legs. So from the outside, nothing's happening. So somebody looking at you would be like, okay, nothing's changed. But then from within, see if you can feel some engagement through your thighs. So maybe if your hands are resting on your thighs, you can feel those thighs engage. See if you can feel yourself pressing down through those feet as if you were trying to push the floor away. And then see if you can also press through your sit bones, so engage your glutes. And then the belly is drawing towards the spine, so you're finding some core engagement. That's going to help your posture, lower back. And then let's use the inhales to lengthen up just a little bit more. So imagine creating some space between those vertebrae. And let's take 3 cycles of breath. So notice a bit more action, a bit more effort right here. Another breath in. And now on your exhale, let's lower the chin to the chest, finding some space in the back of the neck. Take another breath in. And then send your right ear towards your right shoulder, finding some stretch through the left side of the neck and allowing your left shoulder to drop a little further. Breathe in. And now on your exhale, your chin is going to turn towards that right shoulder. Full breath in. And then as you exhale, return chin to chest. Take an inhale here. And then switch sides. Left ear goes towards your left shoulder. So now if you were gazing, your gaze would be forward, or your nose would be pointing straight forward. Right shoulder is heavy. Breath in. And then let's turn the chin, the nose, towards the left shoulder. So a little tweak to that stretch in your upper back and your neck. Breath in. And return chin to chest. Exhale. Now as you inhale, your gaze is going to lift, opening those eyes if they were closed, reaching your arms wide and then all the way overhead. And then on your exhale, arms wide and down by your side. 2 more like that. Take as much space as you can. Inhale to lift. And then imagine a bit of resistance in the air around you. So you've got to engage through your arms, especially as you lower them. And then again, inhale and lift. And exhale to lower. Next time that your arms are lifted, pause there, interlacing those fingers and then turning the palms towards the ceiling, giving your fingers a stretch, your palms, your wrists. Maybe feel that stretch down the arms and the side body. Keep pressing through sit bones and through feet. Take another inhale. And now as you exhale, your left hand is going to lower by your side, reach up and over with your right, coming into a side stretch. Pausing for a moment, trying to align your shoulders. So try not to round forward or arch back. And then as you inhale, bring yourself back through center and switch sides, exhale. And again, aligning shoulders. If you had a wall behind you, your back body would be on the wall. And then coming back through center, interlace those fingers, but this time switch your interlace. So the one that feels awkward probably. Push the palms away, take another inhale. And as you exhale, lower those arms all the way down by your side. Let's bring the right knee in towards the chest. If you can bring your hands around your shin, do that. If not, bring them behind your knee. And then draw the heel towards the glute. Find a bit more lift through the spine. Take an inhale. And then on your exhale, round your spine. So that's going to result in the nose going towards the knee. If you see the posture from the side, you'll see that rounding through that back body. And then again, inhale and lift. You could take it into a bit of a back bend if you wish. So chest pops forward, maybe gaze up. And then again, exhale, find that rounding. So make it about the whole spine. Don't let it just be about your neck. And then again, inhale, a bit more of an arch, maybe gaze up. Exhale, and some rounding. Last one, inhale, open, lift. And exhale and round. Now as you inhale, find a neutral spine, so that place in between, crown of the head is lifting. And then right hand to your knee, left hand to your thigh. Find your rotations through that right hip. Keeping your foot flexed will help you be a bit more engaged through your leg. So it's not just dead weight, and you're not using too much momentum here. Okay, so your hand might just be accompanying the leg, the knee, and the movement is coming from your hips. So see if you can use your hip muscles, leg muscles, and then switch direction. And the one thing to test to see if you're using your muscles is if you were asked to stop your rotation, you could stop right there, right? It wouldn't kind of continue for a bit. So you're finding that engagement, a bit more control over the movement. And then bring that knee back through center. And then on the exhale, extend that leg out. See if you can keep it lifted for a moment. Maybe your hand comes behind the thigh. Push through the heel. Full breath in. And then on your exhale, lower that heel all the way down, flexing the foot, reach your arms overhead, inhale. And then as you exhale, left hand is coming behind you, we're twisting towards the left. Breath in and breath out. Returning through center, inhale, reaching those arms up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands to your hips, hinge forward, forward fold. So maybe you're gazing at your toes or you're gazing at your knee. See if you can level out the sole of the foot. So you're pressing equally through the base or through the big toe side and the pinky toe side. One more breath. Use your inhale to rise back up. You can reach your arms overhead if that feels good. And then as you exhale, we're lowering those hands. Bend that right knee, return the foot, and then let's switch sides. Reach your arms up first. And then as you exhale, hands around your left shin, if that's available, or behind the knee. And then again, we're going to try to draw that heel in towards that left glute. And I'll just come sideways to remind you about that movement through your whole spine. So sometimes the default is that we'll just do the neck movement, right? We think nose to knee and then chin to ceiling, and we just move the neck. See if you can take it to the whole spine. Okay, so again, inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, that rounding. So the result is forehead towards knee, but that back body gets that rounding, that flexion, that space. Inhale, opening up, maybe chest lifts, gaze up, a bit of a back bend. Exhale, and the rounding. And again, inhale, find that opening, that lift. So see as you lift, see if you can feel those shoulder blades come a little closer together. And then exhale, those shoulder blades come apart. And one more time, inhale, open, lift. And exhale. And round. Nice job. And then we're finding that neutral spine. And from here, we're going for that rotation through that left hip. So one hand can come to knee, the other hand can come to thigh. You could also do both hands if you prefer. And then find your circles, keeping that foot flexed. And again, some action through that left leg. And then notice what's happening with the rest of your body. Okay, so I was already doing this. I get kind of sloppy. My spine kind of rounds again. So if you notice that, see if you can find again lifted, active, and stable through your right side. And then switch direction. And then if you want to check, the engagement through that leg, take a moment and stop. See if that leg can stay in place. And then get it going again. Let's take another breath in. Nice job. And don't worry about how big those circles are, but about that the circling's coming from your hip. And then use your inhale to bring that knee back through center. On the exhale, we're going to extend. So keep your foot flexed. Imagine pushing something away with your heel. Take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, lower that heel all the way down. Inhale, reach your arms up. And on your exhale, your right hand is coming behind you. Your left hand is crossing over. We're finding a twist towards the right. Keep the crown of the head lifted, shoulders away from your ears. And just feel that twist from the belly all the way up. With your next inhale, return. Your arms can lift. And then as you exhale, hands to your hips. And we're going for that forward fold. Reach your chest forward and down. So remember, it's about hip crease. Okay? So we're keeping that neutral spine as best we can. And again, another case in which not to worry about how far down you go, but I'd think more about keeping that neutral spine. So it's going to require some engagement through your core, a bit more strength and a bit more stability. Another breath in and breath out. Using your inhale, we'll rise up. We'll reach those arms up if you wish. And then as you exhale, lower your arms, bend that left knee, return to your seat. Hands are going to rest on your thighs. And as you inhale, lift your heels. And then on your exhale, lower your left heel. And then inhale, left heel lifts. Exhale, right heel lowers. Inhale, lift. Switch, left heel lowers. Inhale, lift, and right heel lowers. Now on your inhale, both heels are going to lift. We're going to lower the left heel, and then now see if you can get extra stretch through the front of that left foot, front of your ankle and shin. So this might be plenty with your toes pointing down, your knee lifted, or you might slide your toes towards you. And for some of you, the toes might come under the chair. And if they're coming under the chair, you're coming more onto the top of your foot. So your toes are pointing behind you. Okay? And then see if you can feel that extra stretch through front of ankle and maybe going up the shin. Okay? Breath in, breath out. The more you take your weight back, the more intense it will be. So play with it a bit. Take another inhale. And exhale. And then as you're ready, we're going to return that foot, toes pointing forward. On your inhale, lift both heels. And then as you exhale, now your right heel lowers. We're keeping that left heel lifted, toes pointing straight down. Sometimes it's helpful to bring the foot a little closer to us. You might be able to find a bit more space in the front of the ankle and top of the foot. And then again, if it's available, maybe slide those left toes towards you, under your chair, any amount here. Dropping the knee down will also give you that extra stretch if you need it, right? So this is not a normal or a usual position for our feet, our ankles, so be gentle here. But it's good to do it because they don't usually get that much of a stretch. So take another breath in wherever you are and breath out. And then return that foot, plant it, toes are pointing straight forward. And we're going to open up those knees a bit. So heel to toe, those feet a little wider. Okay. So this one, I don't know if we've done this one, okay, but we're going to play with it. But you know, we've done window wipers with the knees when we're like sitting down on the mat or we're lying down, right? So it's the same idea, okay? So with your next inhale, center, lengthen spine, your hands could rest on your thighs. And then as you exhale, just send your knees towards the right. And as you do this, your torso will turn and you'll kind of come off a bit of the sole of the feet, right? And then as you inhale, come back through center and then send your knees towards the right. So a little loose movement here. And then we'll do that again, center, and then we'll switch. And center, and then we'll switch, right? And now we're going to take it a little further. So we're coming through center. Let's send those knees. I'm going to the left, okay? And now we're going to tweak this a bit. So that left foot is going to step out a bit more, and it's going to point straight towards the left. Torso is going to point towards the left, and notice we're coming into a lunge. Right leg, knee is going to point down, and maybe the top of the foot is on the ground, or if that's not comfortable, tuck your toes, and toes pointing forward. And then see if you can slide your right foot back behind you. So you've come into a lunge here. Readjust yourself. See if you can align your hips to be both hips facing towards the left, hip bones towards the left, and torso towards the left. Nice job. And then on your inhale, your right arm is going to lift, reach it by your ear, and see if you can create a bit more space from the waist all the way to your fingers. Breath in, breath out. So some of you will stay here with that right leg. Some of you will play with straightening that right knee. So pushing out or through the heel or sliding your toes or the top of the foot a little further back, and see if you can engage through your right glute as you do this. Okay, let's do one more. Breath in and breath out. And then with your next inhale, hand lowers, that knee comes back in, and we're going to shift again to center, just like we started. Those knees are going to be wide, those feet wide, you're facing straight forward. Okay, so hopefully that lunge went well. Make sure that you keep your lower back protected, so don't overdo it. Engaging the glutes will help, and keeping some awareness of your core and some lift will also help not to collapse into the lower back. So we're going over to the right now. So when you're ready, let your knees shift to the right, okay? And then move your right foot a little further. So you're aligning your right knee with your right hip. Torso now is pointing towards the right. Sometimes your right hand could support it, so you could get a bit of extra support on the back of your chair. And then slide your left leg back behind you. And again, any amount, maybe top of the foot, maybe the knee stays pointing or straight down under your hip, or you might be able to take it back a bit. But again, no pain in the knee, keep your lower back safe. And then once you are here, your left arm reaches by your ear, reach it up towards the ceiling, and now get some distance between your hip, your left hip, and your left fingers. Taking a breath in and a breath out. If it's available, work on straightening that left knee. Engage through your left glute. Breath in and breath out. Nice job. And then from here, release that left hand and then gently return yourself back through center. Okay, so it's tricky sometimes for your knees and when we're doing these things. So the main thing is that you keep your knees safe too. Okay, so there's like swiveling kind of from side to side, in which, you know, the ankles or your knees kind of are not aligned anymore. Your foot is kind of pointing in different directions. It's like, just be careful with that you keep your knees safe. And then with the feet wide, let's widen them a little bit more if that's available. So knees are going to be pointing in the same direction as your toes. And then your hands are coming onto your thighs. Thumbs on the inside, fingers wrap on the outside. We're going to inhale to lengthen. And then on the exhale, let's send the right shoulder forward and then turn your torso towards your left and then push your right thigh away. So you're getting a twist, a stretch through the right side of your waist and through that right inner thigh. And then bring yourself back through center. Inhale and switch. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, coming back through center. One more time each side. Switch, exhale. And inhale, center. And other side, exhale. Now as you inhale, we're coming back through center. Reach your arms all the way up. Imagine that your knees were being pulled towards the space behind you. And then on your exhale, bend your elbows. Find 90-degree angles with your shoulders and your elbows. Palms are facing forward, fingers spread. Open chest, so squeeze those shoulder blades towards one another as you inhale. And then on your exhale, bring your elbows forward. Maybe those elbows touch and then the hands, but make it about the elbows first. Open as you inhale. Exhale and forward. Knees are still wide. Inhale, open. And exhale, forward. This time on your inhale, reach those arms overhead. And as you exhale, lower those arms all the way down by your side. And then heel to toe your feet back to hip width. And then once you are here, just take a moment. Arms heavy by your side. Roll those shoulders up by your ears. And release them down the back. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then with your next inhale, we're grabbing the strap. We're going to bring it between, we're going to hold it in both hands. You want to get your hands a little wider than shoulder width. Okay? And we're going to bring the strap right in front of us. Our arms are extended. And then all along, as we're doing these next few movements, important to keep your strap tense between your hands. So you keep pulling on your strap. Okay, so it doesn't get kind of loopy. It's really tense. Okay. We're going to inhale those arms up any amount. So you might come all the way by your ears or even a little back, but it's okay to be in front, don't worry. And then on your exhale, we're lowering all the way to the legs. And now see if you can keep your spine neutral along. So as you move those arms, you're not rounding, arching, and doing other things with the spine. The spine stays stable. So again, inhale, arms lift, maybe overhead. Keep that strap tense. Exhale and lower. Control the lowering of that strap of those arms. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Keep tensing that strap. And again, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, lift. Keep pulling on that strap. And then on your exhale, lower all the way down onto your thighs. We're going to take it wider now. So your hands are going to come quite wide. And now the challenge of keeping the strap tense is a little bigger, right? So your elbows also trying to keep them extended, and we're doing the same movement, but just because now you've got a bit more space between your hands, you might be able to take your arms back a little further. Okay, so when you're ready, inhale and lift. Maybe those arms go back. Elbows stay extended. Exhale, bring it forward. Keep pulling on that strap. Lower the strap to your thighs. And again, inhale, lift. See if you can feel a stretch through armpits. Exhale and lower. Make sure you pair this with your breath. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Now with your next inhale, we're going to lift and we're going to keep those arms lifted. And now we're going to go for a side stretch. But again, you've got to keep that strap tense between your hands. Take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, pull through your right hand, and we're coming over towards the right side. So it's a side stretch for the left side of your body. And then inhale back through center. And go to your other side as you exhale. Smooth movements here. Let's do it one more time each side. Inhale, center. Now as you go to your right, make sure that you press down through your left sit bone, your left foot. And then inhale back through center. And to the left, pressing down through your right foot and right sit bone. We're coming back through center, inhale, and then as you exhale, lower those arms and lower that strap. And you could put the strap away for a moment here and let your arms hang by your side. So maybe fingers got a little tense here, that grab on the strap, so wiggle those fingers. And then maybe a wiggle through your wrists, both directions. And then take it to your shoulders, but now very passive movement with your shoulders. So more about release, less effort. And if you're doing circles, switch direction. And a breath in. And a breath out. And then stillness, bring those hands back to your thighs. Take an inhale. And then drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Exhale. And maybe add a bit to this. So left hand could come to the side of the head and you can just add some weight. And then maybe your right arm drops by your side, adding some heaviness to that right shoulder. Breathe in and breathe out. All along, keep your spine lifted. So your spine up to the neck. And then back through center. Take a moment at center, breath in. And then as you're ready, right ear towards right shoulder. Perfectly fine to stay here. If there's enough sensation, stretch, you could stay. If not, right hand can come to the head. And maybe left arm drops by your side. Breathe in wherever you're at. And breathe out. One more inhale. And exhale. Returning gently through center, resting your hands back onto your thighs. Take an inhale. And now lengthen your exhale. See if you can draw the belly to spine at the end, pushing as much of the air out as you can. So thinking about renewing most of the air in the lungs with each breath in and each breath out. We'll take 2 more. And 1 more. Inhale. And long exhale. And then from here, we're going to make our way up. So feet hip width, toes are pointing forward. We're working on keeping those knees hip width all along. And then on your inhale, we're going to lift that right heel. Okay, so we're on the ball of that right foot, and sometimes bringing the foot a little closer to you will help. And then you're on the whole left foot, right? And then from here, reach your arms forward. And then as you inhale, bring your weight forward and just rise up. We're not coming all the way up. We're keeping a bend in those knees. And then on the exhale, with control, we're lowering those sit bones and coming back onto the chair. So if the heel, right heel lifted is not working, do it with both feet down. Okay. We'll do it 2 more times on this side, coming forward and up on the inhale, smooth things. Exhale, slowly lowering back down. Nice job. And then again, inhale, forward, lift. Exhale with control, lower and back. Okay. And then from here, lower that right heel, switch sides. Left heel is lifted, knees are pointing forward. Imagine you had that block between your knees and you're not letting it drop. When you're ready, inhale, come up, hover, lift a bit. Exhale, slowly lower back. And again, inhale, 2 more, lift. Make sure to use that breath. Exhale and lower. Nice. And last one. Inhale, lift. See if you can feel those thighs. And exhale and lower. And now this one's going to feel really nice with both feet well planted, right? So when you're ready, inhale, lift. We're staying here for a moment. Let your arms just dangle. Maybe give your wrists a little rotation. So notice action through legs, but that upper body can be somewhat relaxed, right? And then when you're ready, lift those arms straight and legs come all the way up to stand. Give yourself a nice stretch here, side body. And then on your exhale, arms down by your side. And then let's just give the wrists a little attention. So just bring your palms to touch, interlace your fingers, and then find some rotation through those wrists. So your elbows are stable, your shoulders are stable, and then switch direction. Okay, so it's all about the wrist right now. And then from here, see if you can bring the tops of the hands to face each other. So the thumbs are pointing towards you. Okay. Your elbows and wrists more or less in line. And then press the tops of the hands against each other and then begin to make some half circles with your hands, with your wrists. So fingers pointing towards you and then away from you. And then from here, release. Let those arms hang by your side. And let's turn to the chair, to the seat of the chair. And let's come into a table pose. So we're going to get those hands more or less under shoulders, get those ankles, knees, and hips in line, and look for that neutral spine. Okay. And since we've been doing quite a bit with lifting and lowering the heels, we'll do a bit of that here in this table pose. Okay. And the challenge is going to be to go straight up rather than shift forward and back as you lift and lower your heels. So you'll see what I mean when we do it. Okay, make sure your hands are well planted, and then with your next inhale, see if you can lift your heels, but not shift forward. So they're lifting straight up, your sit bones are lifting straight up. And you could do this with a bend in your knees too. Okay? And then on your exhale, lower your heels. Okay? So as best you can, control that this is just about up and down, not forward and back. Again, inhale, lift those heels. Exhale, lower. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale to lift. And then now control your exhale and your lowering. So lower halfway, then 3/4, and then heels all the way down to the ground. Now with your next inhale, your left leg is rising out behind you. And then on your exhale, bend that knee, bring that knee into your chest. Inhale, lengthen that leg out. Exhale, bring the knee to the outside of your left elbow. Inhale, lengthen the leg out. Exhale, now that knee is crossing underneath you towards your right elbow. Inhale, leg lengthens out. And now on your exhale, draw the knee to the outside of your left elbow and then see if you can plant your foot straight down from that knee. So your left foot is coming to the outside of your left hand, outside of your chair. And then let's step that right foot all the way back behind you. Okay. So you remember we've done this one before, the lizard lunge. Nice job. So you've got you ending here with your shoulders more or less over your wrists. Okay. And your left foot is really in touch with your chair. The knee is to the outside of the seat of your chair. There you go. And then some of you will stay here. Some of you might lower onto forearms. And you could try lowering first onto your right forearm. And then if you've got the space, maybe you lower onto your left forearm too. Okay, so your back leg needs to go back behind you. So it's your lunge. So we'll really lengthen it out behind you. There you go. Okay. And now play with the position of your hips. So if you work on straightening that front knee, your hips will lift. If you bend into that front knee, you can lower your hips a bit more. Keep pressing through that back heel. Nice job. On your forearms, it might feel more stable. Breath in and breath out. And then if you got on your forearms, come back onto your hands. And we're going to step that back foot forward and then step that left foot back into your table pose. Okay? So from here, we're going to go to the other side. So now your right leg is going to rise. Inhale. And then on your exhale, knee to chest. So there's a bit of rounding through your spine as you do this. And then inhale, lengthen that leg out. Exhale, knee to the outside of your right elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee comes underneath you towards your left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. And now that right knee comes again towards the outside of your right elbow. And then once you've got it there, bring your foot and plant your foot right under that knee. So if you see the pose, my pose from the front, you'll see my right foot here outside of the chair. Okay? And you can find it's more or less aligned with my right hand. So they're kind of at the same level. And then once you've got that, send your left foot back. And you might be able to send it quite a bit back because it will give you space for the right knee to bend a bit more. And you'll be able to get your hips a little lower. And if you get your hips a little lower, you'll be more able to come onto your forearms. Okay, so again, I'll return to my position here. But again, if it's available to come onto forearms, do that. And you'll be able to lower your hips maybe a little bit more, but keep pressing through that back heel. Breath in and breath out. Notice if there's tension in the jaw and see if you can release it. And see if you can take a deeper breath in. And now a longer breath out. And then return to your hands if you're on forearms. Put weight into that front leg, into your hands, and then step that back foot forward some. It doesn't come all the way. And then step your right foot back. Come back into your table pose. All right, nice job. So again, we're going to do that lifting and lowering of the heels. So align your ankles, knees, and hips, your hands more or less under shoulders. And then on your inhale, lift your heels. Once again, think about lifting up, not going forward and back. Exhale, lower those heels. 2 more times. Inhale, lift, straight up. Nice. Exhale, lower. And now on your inhale, lift. And we're going to slow down the lowering. Exhale, halfway, 3/4. And heels all the way down onto the ground. Now as you inhale, slowly rise that spine. And now once again, find the interlace of your fingers. We're going to get those wrists, give them a little attention. So the awkward interlace, so probably opposite thumb on top that you did before. Palms are together as best you can, heels of the hands close together, and then just circling your wrists. Keep your elbows and shoulders stable. And then switch direction. And slow it down. You might discover that you can find a bit more range if you slow the movement down. And then release those hands. We're going to do one more stretch here, and it's like a counter stretch for the one that we do when we're in table pose. So right hand in front of you, and then drop your fingers. So the palm is going to be facing towards you. And then your left hand, thumb on the palm, and then fingers wrap onto the top of that hand. And then press the thumb into the palm as you draw the fingers towards you a bit more. Okay. So you get to stretch through the top of your wrist. Is that making sense? Hopefully. Breathe in. And breathe out. And then now do the same thing, but now it's with your fingers pointing up. So your palm is still facing towards you. And then again, left thumb to the palm, fingers, and then help those fingers draw towards you. Again, top of the hand is facing away, palm is facing towards you. And then release, and we'll switch sides. So left fingers pointing down, palm facing us, right thumb to the palm, right fingers wrap around the top of the hand, and then just encourage that space, that stretch through the top of your wrist. Breath in and breath out. And then the same idea, but with your fingers pointing up, palm is facing towards you, and you're pressing a bit more into the heel of your hand here with your right thumb, and then encourage those fingers or the base of your fingers to move towards you with your right fingers. So, yeah. Breath in and breath out. And then let's release, find a little wiggle through fingers, through wrists, and then we're going to make our way down onto the mat. So that chair can move out of the way, and bring your block with you. We'll meet all the way down onto our backs. Again, no rush, get there safely. Options as always, coming onto your side, rolling over, or if you want a little bit more action for the core, always making sure that that lower back is feeling happy. We'll plant those toes, we'll bring those fingers, those arms in front of us, and just take a moment here, open chest, so find a bit more lift, and then use your exhale to come halfway down. And then see if you can stay with a neutral spine and your feet well planted. Take another breath in. And now we'll begin lowering lower back. So there's a little rounding happening. And then mid back. And then those shoulder blades. And then the head. All along as you do this, if you keep some action through your legs, that will also help. Okay, so keep in control. Some action through the glutes will also help. And then your block is nearby. We're going to use it for a bridge pose. So your heels are going to come closer to your sit bones. Your arms are going to be by your side. Back body is planted for now. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then with your next inhale, lift your hips off the mat. And on your exhale, lower your hips. And again, do this with control. Inhale, your hips lift. Exhale, hips lower. And inhale, lift. And exhale to lower. So hopefully you don't need to look at the screen now, and you can just guide yourself with my voice. We've done this before. But we're going to grab the block. And then the next time that the hips lift, on the inhale, we're going to slide the block under the sacrum. And here I would use the low setting for your block. Okay. And if you're not using a block, see if you can use something that's sturdy, something that's a little not too squishy. And there shouldn't be any pain in your lower back. Remember, it's at the bony part of the back of your hips where the block is situated, so it should feel comfortable. And then once you've got that block there, we're going to draw the right knee in towards us. And you don't need to use your hands here. You could just draw the knee in, and then gravity might pull it a bit more towards your chest. Keep your left foot planted on the ground. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, lower that right foot back down. Switching sides, left knee now draws in towards the chest. Foot lifts off the ground. Breathe in. And breathe out. and then lowering that foot back down. So now option of doing one leg at a time, or if it's available, bring the right knee in, and then see if you can bring the left knee in too. Your gaze is going to be down the midline or looking at your knees. And then you might stay here with your heels heavy towards your glutes, so not too much effort. Or you might lift one leg towards the ceiling. So thing is here, if you are able to more or less stack your ankle, knee, and hip with a leg lifted, it will be more like a resting posture. It will be less effort, and there shouldn't be any strain through lower back, and just your core a little engaged, but nothing major, right? If your leg is going out at a diagonal, then there's going to be a lot more work to be done, and it's going to be less of a resting posture and more of abdominal core work. And that's not what we're getting at right now. And depending on how the core is, your lower back might feel the strain. So if the leg doesn't go straight up, I would keep the knees bent and let your heels drop towards the glutes and stay there. If those legs or those joints stack, then your legs can go all the way up, and you might even find a little rotation through your ankles, a little wiggle through your feet. So again, just choose, see what's going to work for you today. Again, that idea that right now it's not about too much effort. It's more about ease, more about allowing the body to be a bit more soft, allowing tension to release. We'll take about 5 more breaths. See if you can soften jaw, soften eyes. And if at any point there's some kind of urge to do something else or not enough happening, see if you can tune into your breath and notice that quite a bit is happening just by breathing in with intention, breathing out, slowing that breath out. 2 more breaths. And then we'll begin to release the posture, but with attention. So if your legs are lifted, let's bend both knees. Now heels are hanging towards the glutes. And then let's just lower one foot at a time. So maybe your right foot lowers all the way to the ground, and then your left foot. So you're back into that supported bridge pose now. And then arms are coming by your side. Put some weight into those forearms and those hands. And then inhale, lift your hips off the block. Keeping your hips lifted, you could slide the block out of the way. And then we're going to slow down the lowering. So instead of lowering straight down, think about reaching sit bones towards your heels. So at the same time that you lower your hips, you're finding some space back into the lower areas of the spine. And then once your hips are on the ground, sacrum, pause here. Bring your feet a little wider, let your knees rest against one another, and then you could bring hands to your belly. Take a deep breath in, and take a long breath out. See if you can push that lower back towards your mat. And then another one like that, breath in, and breath out. And then from here, a bit of movement for those hips, so more of a releasing movement. Your hands could stay at your belly, or you could bring them out into a T. Keep your feet wide, and then just let your knees drop towards the left. They don't have to go all the way down. And then bring them back through center, and then drop them towards your right. And you could do this a couple more times, and your own breath. And if it feels good to stay on one side for a little extra breath, you could do that too. And then the next time that you find your knees are at center, pause there and check in if there is any other movement that your body might need. See if anything else comes up. Give it a couple breaths or so. And then eventually find stillness. And we'll just spend a couple minutes or so in stillness. But the physical body is going to be in stillness, and let's just focus the mind for a moment. Let's notice all the parts of that back body that are in touch with the surface, with ground. And then let's allow a bit more weight to drop into those areas of the body. So it might be your feet, your heels. It might be your hips, your glutes. It might be your shoulders, your arms. It might be some weight that you can drop into the back of the head. And then see if you can feel that body a bit more grounded, a bit more supported. And as you feel that support of the earth underneath you, see if you can even soften a little further through the front of the body. Maybe again your eyes and your jaw. Maybe the fronts of the shoulders broaden and drop. Maybe this softness through the belly, through the thighs. And maybe you soften toes. And then let's just pause in quiet. Just for a moment. And now just notice if thinking was happening. And then rather than getting immersed in that thinking, see if you can guide your attention back to your breath. Deepen, lengthen those inhales and exhales. And then find some gentle movement back into your fingers, into your toes, your wrists, your ankles, your neck. And taking a moment, maybe stretching those arms overhead if it feels good. And then if you were on your back, rolling onto one side. And then taking a breath in. And taking a breath out. And then we'll meet in a seat. Well, feel free to stay lying down if you'd rather stay there for a little while. But if you're in a seat, we'll meet there with hands to heart. Lengthening that spine and just taking a moment here to acknowledge the practice, to acknowledge ourselves for practicing, to acknowledge those who practice with us, and not only today but any other time. And then to acknowledge all those that make it possible. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.